Am I the asshole for not letting my partner name our unborn child? I am currently nearly full-term 35 weeks, and the conversation of what to name our daughter has been brought up a few times this week, and it's always ended in an argument. The name of our daughter was decided quite early on in my pregnancy, and it was my partner's idea for the name choice. She is being named after my partner's friend who sadly passed away while serving in the British Army. I wasn't too sure on the name when I first heard it, but it did grow on me after a few weeks, and he also turned down every single name I mentioned. When I say close to 20 different names and he didn't like any of them, he was pretty much set on naming her after his late friend. The idea of middle names got brought up, and he straight away said that his mum would be happy if we gave her his mother's middle name, and I didn't hate that idea, but what I didn't like is how he said it, like he expected me to agree. I've never had an issue with his side of the family. They are nice and friendly people, very easy to get along with, never had any issues. I told my partner that either I picked her middle name or she didn't have one because he chose her first name. And also, I'm not a huge fan of the middle name in question, but that's not the point. He straight away turned it down and said his mum told him how happy she would be if our daughter got her middle name, and I just don't agree with that. I also gave him another opinion. Our daughter can have his mum's middle name, but she gets my last name, and again he didn't agree, and then again I stated, well, she just doesn't get one then if we cannot agree, and he said how his whole family has a tradition where everybody must have a middle name. Am I being responsible with my arguments, or am I not being responsible whatsoever? Not the asshole. Why does he get to decide all names? Honestly, I wouldn't want to be with a man that wouldn't meet me in the middle with something like this. I would stand my ground on her getting my last name. Not the asshole. You're willing to compromise. Your partner is not. Don't be a doormat. Not the asshole. 2 yeses, 1 no situation. Stand your ground or resent him. Not the asshole. He shouldn't expect you to be happy with everything he wants. It's not just his child, but yours too. You should have a choice. The idea of middle names got brought up, and he straight away said that his mum would be happy if we gave her his mother's middle name, and I didn't hate that idea, but what I didn't like is how he said it, like he expected me to agree. This is because he does expect you to agree. In fact, he expects you to agree with all his opinions and none of yours. You do see that, right? I'd die on this hill, as he clearly has no respect for your opinion on this topic. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like a red flag, honestly, that he isn't open to any compromise. As a fellow pregnant woman, deciding on a name is incredibly hard, but it sounds like he's making a unilateral decision and does not care about your opinion. Makes me nervous for future disagreements on parenting styles. Who is this guy? Is he always this self-absorbed and self-important? Is he a bully in other areas? Has he shown that he can collaborate, share and compromise in other ways? If not, you've got way bigger problems than a name. Let this thread ripen up and send it to him. We'll tell him he's being an ass even if he won't listen to you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. This is something that you need to decide together. Said his mum told him how happy she would be if our daughter got her middle name. He's way out of line getting her involved. You're the one he needs to keep happy. His friend, his mother and his family traditions. No. Not the asshole. Child names have to be agreed upon by both parties. One person cannot unilaterally decide your child's name if you are not also happy with that name. Not the asshole. You've offered compromises and he's refused all of them and rejects all your suggestions. From your use of the word partner instead of husband, remember that in the UK he is not allowed to legally register the baby. Only you can do that. In the time you have before baby is born, consider your relationship. I don't know if I could be with someone so uninterested in compromise. Especially over something so important. This is definitely a hill to die on because it will be with you forever. Not the asshole tbh. This sounds like the problems in your relationship go much deeper than just naming your child. Though that is obviously still important. I think you two need to have a serious discussion about decision making related to your daughter going forward. Not the asshole, he's making all the decisions about the baby name and not giving you any say. And he's manipulating you into doing so. This is setting off alarms in my brain. Let me put this out there. Think back to all the decisions y'all have had to make as a couple where you didn't agree. How many of those decisions did he actually compromise on? Now how many did you? I'm going to wager that if you really think about it, you'll see that you did most, if not all, of the compromising. And that when you did get your way, it was met with anger or sulking or some sort of punishment. Not the asshole. Don't name children after dead people. Children aren't living memorials. They deserve the right to have their own name. Fight the first name and give him the middle name. Not the asshole, I hope he isn't always this controlling. Not the asshole. I can't see how you'd be irresponsible. But he's being overbearing. You accepted his choice of first name. Now it's your turn to pick the middle name. He doesn't get to choose both names. You both are parents and should equally decide on your child's name. You are being reasonable with splitting first, middle and last name. Him getting upset is not fair to you, and making his mother happy is not the point of raising a child. You have a right to name your child whatever you want as long as you and your husband both agree. Not the asshole. Tell him your child can have a first and middle name. But he can only choose one. You will have the other. He can decide who he wants to honor more, his mate or his mother. If you have another child in the future, you swap over. You need to be firm that you will not compromise. And this is your hill to die on. Not the asshole. Names are a 2 yes, 1 no sort of situation. And your partner is not willing to compromise at all. Not the asshole, but baby names shouldn't be tit for tat compromises. You all need to find a name you both like. Not the asshole. He wants to get to pick every part of your kid's name. That's not cool. You both will raise her. You both helped create her. So you both get a say in the name. If he wants to pick the first name, you get the middle. Fair is fair. Not the asshole. I am pretty sure in most developed countries the mother can dictate who comes in and out of a delivery room, I'm assuming not married. And you get to decide the kid's name in the end. So they can ask. But you get to ultimately decide. It's your kid too, and you get ultimate voice. Not the asshole. Currently 7 months pregnant with a girl and we couldn't decide on a name either. So we compromised. I gave her her first name. He's picking her middle name. And with the rest of our kids we'll switch back and forth. No one person should have 100% say in naming a child that will be equally yours. If you're not married, give the baby your last name on the birth certificate, as his name will still be listed as father. That way when it ends you don't have a constant reminder of his last name when you move on.